Hello, everyone. I'm doing this bit, talking bit at the beginning, standing up, as you can see, because this week's theme is all about failure. And as if by magic, to play into that theme of failure, I have left my microphone somewhere else. So my new swanky, ooh, get me, I've got a swanky new microphone, not here, because I left it somewhere else. First failure. So I'm going to do this bit closer to the camera, and then when I'm over there, I will enunciate, and hopefully you can still hear me. There ain't no point in putting subtitles on because you'll never see it, I don't think. Anyway, first failure. The failure prior to that, which made me think about bringing the theme of failure into our lesson tonight and probably into next week as well, because I think it's quite an important one to look at, is so basically on Saturday just gone, I tried to organise a fundraising yoga event to raise money for the Disasters Emergency Committee, you know, the DEC, for all the work they're doing in Ukraine. And I was organising it with a yoga friend of mine. And long story short, we didn't get anyone signing up for it. Anyone at all. And we'd plastered it on social media. I'd sent out an email to like my followers. Some of you would have got it. Admittedly, we were trying to kind of do it in a fairly short space of time because it had taken us a while to find a venue. Anyway, not one person signed up to do it. And I know we all deal with failure in inverted commas in a different way. But I'm not good at failure. When things go wrong, it's a massive trigger for me. And yeah, it made me feel really rubbish. It made me feel like I'd let down all of the people that I was going to be raising money for. It made me doubt whether I was a decent yoga teacher. I mean, you know, layers upon layers upon layers of all my stuff came up after when no one signed up for this yoga event. And one of the interesting things about all of these practices that we do together, so whether that's like yoga or mindfulness or whatever it is, there's obviously an element of failure in it all, because you have to get it wrong to be able to learn from it. And Ruby Wax has written some great books about mindfulness. She was, well, she still is a comedian. But she talks about, you know, in mindfulness, and we talk about it when we do our breathing practices, you know, just sitting the beginning of our classes. We think about, you know, when the mind wanders, you notice where it's gone to and you bring it back. You notice where it's gone and you bring it back. You notice where it's gone and you bring it back. Now, you could see the fact that the mind has gone in the first place as failing at being mindful. You know, you could see that every time the mind wanders, oh, I failed again, I failed again, I failed again. But what she says is that to grow your mindfulness practice, you need those moments of the mind wandering, because the bringing it back is actually kind of the foundation of the whole practice. So she says it would be like going to the gym to try and get strong without picking up any weights. You know, the noticing and changing, noticing and changing, noticing and changing, that's the actual kind of workout, as it were. And I think we can take some of that into the bendy stuff we do on our mats. So we're going to, in our practice, we're going to do an all around nice general practice, some strength building in there, and we're going to throw in a couple of easy arm balances, or just balances actually, not just arm balances, because I think balancing is a very clear, yes, I'm getting it, no, I'm not. You know, you're either balancing or you're not. And for me, it's always been one of the balancing yoga really, really challenging for me. I've noticed that when I've been concerned about failing again in my yoga practice, you know, sometimes I don't even want to try and do it. I want to skip it. I don't even want to have a go, because wimping out from it entirely is actually easier than even trying it. Do you know what I mean? And then if I'm really in that space, I'm so absorbed in everything that builds up to that point of the practice, because I'm dreading it, I miss all of the other stuff. So I'm already so concerned about the perceived failure that I might get to. I'm missing out on all of the building blocks that I need to be paying attention to even get me any closer to what I'm trying to achieve, if that makes sense. And of course, one of the things about failure, in inverted commas, and I put it in inverted commas because it's a very potent word, I think, but it kind of sums it up well. One of the things about failures is that you can only fail at something if you are attached to the outcome. So if I'd seen setting up that fundraising yoga event as an experiment in setting up a yoga event, then if something's an experiment, it has no right or wrong outcome. It just has an outcome. So I wouldn't have been attached to that outcome. So when you're working through your practices, if you find yourself getting into that mindset of, oh, well, I'm not even going to have a go because what's the point? I won't be able to do it. Well, then think of it as an experiment to see if you can do it. And then if you can or you can't do it, it really doesn't matter. So it's an interesting one. It's, sorry, my co-teacher has just decided to wake up. Hopefully she's going to go downstairs because it's kind of dinner time. Or she's just going to sharpen her claws on the carpet and then go downstairs. Anyway, and see, Harry never fails. She never knows when she's getting anything wrong. So we have, in the order to fail, we have to be attached to the outcome. If we can let that go, I think that's a different way of framing it. What else did I want to say? In the moment, there is no such thing as failure, because a goal is for future. And if we're in the moment, then we're not looking to future because we're in the moment. If failure is quite often based on stuff that's happened in the past, and we're not trying to be in the past, we're trying to be in the moment. So one of the things, again, that our yoga practice is teaching us is to be in the moment. So all that matters is what's happening in that moment. And in that moment, if you're truly in the moment, all you're doing is experiencing, because there's no right and there's no wrong. It just is what it is, an experience. So there's loads of stuff that we can learn about failure, in inverted commas, by getting on this pesky sticky mat. So again, as with all of this yoga stuff, you know, one session ain't gonna get rid of all this crap that we carry around with us, with all these associations that we have about failure or success and all that. But what our practices can do is hold up a magnifying glass to our patterns. This is a very convoluted way of me saying this. Because I notice patterns in my yoga practice that I then take with me out into the world, and vice versa. So yoga event failed. Am I now gonna shy away from trying to do another one that I'm trying to organize for this weekend? You know, will I, when I'm on my yoga mat, can I spot when that happens and work through that? If you find those little voices coming up when we try and do some of the stuff we're going to do tonight, just notice it. Best thing you can do is laugh at yourself, especially when all you're trying to do is balance. I mean, it's like, you know, there are many other ways to make yourself miserable. So if nothing else, have a little laugh when you suddenly go all wobbly, and move on. Let's get ourselves sitting down comfortably. So get yourself into your comfortable seated position, whatever that is tonight. And of course, I should also say that I'm very aware that my experience of failure, again in inverted commas, is very different to how you may deal with failure or someone else. You know, for some of us, in a yoga pose or not, when you're in a balanced pose and you have one little wobble, for some of us, it's enough to put you off pushing any further or trying anything more challenging. For others of us, one little wobble makes it all much more exciting. So I'm trying to not tar us all with the same brush, but still I think there are things that we will inevitably notice when we start doing things that are not harder. This isn't going to be a hard practice. It's just going to be a little more interesting, shall we say, in a few things. So we're going to look at, like I say, a few balance poses, but we're going to look at a few strengthening poses to help us get there, and we'll see how we go. So get yourself sitting comfortably, however that looks for you tonight, and of course remembering our house rules, that your body is your responsibility. If something doesn't feel good, don't push into it. If something is painful, is like recurrently painful, hang around at the end of class, ask me about it, and we can look at giving some modifications. Rest when you need to rest. You know, work with the body you've got, not the body you think you should have. So get yourself sitting comfortably. Let the hands rest on or about the knees or thighs. Palms can turn up or they can turn down. You're going to let your eyes fall closed just as soon as you are settled. And you're going to take a big breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Good. Do that again. Big breath in through the nose. Big sigh. One more just like that. If it feels good to do more, do more. Big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth as often, as many times as feels good for you. And then just let the breath settle. If it wants to be deep, let it be deep. If it wants to be shallow, let it be shallow. And just begin to get that feeling of arriving into this space and into this time. Here and now in our yoga club, it's all about you. It's your opportunity to push the pause button on it all. So begin to get a sense of just starting to find some stillness in your body. Acknowledge everything that has been and gone in your day so far. Acknowledge that there is still plenty to come, but that for here and now, you are your priority. So begin to tune in. Begin to notice how you feel as a whole. Begin to notice what your energy levels are like. Begin to notice what kind of mood you're in. Remembering there's no right or wrong to any of this. I just want you to start tuning in and noticing what is real for you in this moment. And then let's tune in a little more and begin by noticing your thoughts. So take your awareness up to that space between your ears and see if you can position yourself as the interested observer of your thoughts rather than the active participant. So remember, you can do that by imagining that your thoughts are traffic on a road. You can imagine that you are sitting at the side of the road, watching the traffic trundle backwards and forwards in front of you, and you're just watching it come and watching it go. Or you could imagine that you are looking at the sky and each thought is a cloud just floating past. Or that your thoughts are bubbles floating around in the air in front of you. Whatever works for you, but position yourself so that you are watching your thoughts, not getting involved in them. And remember what I said at the beginning. When you do find that you are involved in a thought, that's great, that's brilliant, that's the practice. Step back from the thought, position yourself as the observer again. That does not mean that you are getting the practice wrong, it means you are practicing the practice. So you notice and you change, you notice and you change, and so on. We're just taking a light touch for now. So as you've noticed mind, let's take a moment to tune into body. Take the awareness to the top of your head and taking 40 seconds or so, begin to scan down. Allow the awareness to roll down through your body. Just noticing in turn each bit that your body passes over. Remembering you're not trying to change or control how anything feels. Again, we're just tuning in to what is real for you in this moment. Don't have to like it, don't have to dislike it. Can you just accept it? Once your awareness has gone down to the tips of your toes, as you've noticed mind, as you've noticed body, let us connect to breath. So take your awareness to wherever you can most easily feel the rise of your inhale and the fall of your exhale. So it could be somewhere around the belly button, a little bit above, a little bit below. Just begin to create that connection to your breath. Remembering that the breath is there to help you negotiate with your body. It's there to help you know if you are pushing too hard or insisting on too much. But perhaps most importantly, it's there as the anchor for your mind to come back to whenever it does its wandering thing. And remember, when it does its wandering thing, that is not failure, that is an opportunity to embody the practice, which is basically all yoga wants us to do, is to be in the moment and be in the practice. So keeping that connection to your breath, either let the hands stay resting where they are or bring them into a prayer shape in front of your breastbone. You can let the head bow. And take a moment to set your intention for your practice. So know how you want to feel as you move through the poses. Know how you want to feel when you step off the mat and go back into your day. Know what you need the practice to do for you this evening. Set your intention, but remain open-minded to the other good, positive stuff that may well come along. With your preferred intention set, you can lift the chin, Let the hands come down. You can blink your eyes open. Good. Come to lying down position on your mat. Don't get optimistic. We're not just going to lie down for the hour. I like to manage your expectations. All the way down. Or you can do that with as much of a little effort as you want to put into it. Bring the knees up into your chest. Hug them in for a moment and just take a little roll from side to side. Give the back a little massage. Then hands on the knees. You can take the knees around in some circles one way. Take them round in some circles the other way. You can take them apart in separate circles. Just beginning to oil the hip joints a little bit. So like I say, we are going to combine an all-round practice with a bit of strengthening, a bit of stretching, obviously, and then seeing if we can combine the strength and the stretchiness into a bit of balancing. For now, we need to do a bit of knocking the rust off some stuff. So bring your feet to the floor with your knees bent. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. So you make like a diamond shape with your legs. Take the arms up over your head if you've got room. You can just have a little stretch. And then bring the hands back. Oh dear, excuse me. Bring the hands back down. Something about the clocks changing. I know it's only an hour, but my goodness, it feels like it's sort of jet lagged, doesn't it? Anyway, leave the left leg where it is and bring the right knee up to your chest. Now, if this, bring your left hand, down onto your left thigh, and your right hand holds around the front of your right knee. So stay here and just begin to sort of work the thighs, sort of going out in kind of opposite directions, really. If this is all right for your hips, feel free to stay here. If you want to juice it up a bit, take the right foot into a half happy baby. So that means reaching up the inside of the leg and holding around the arch of the foot. The knee is bent, and it's like you're trying to take your thigh to the outside of your rib cage. Now, if this is too much, don't worry about it. Just go back to holding around the front of the knee. If you're kind of hanging onto your foot and hanging in midair, it's not going to do you any favors. So let it be vaguely restful. So we just start to wake the hips up a little bit. Good. Let that go. Left foot flat on the floor. Straighten the left leg out. Draw the right knee up into the chest. Left hand on the front of your left pelvis. And again, just let the right knee draw out to the right hand side. But this time, instead of thinking thigh, knee down to armpit, think knee just out to the side. So you get a nice stretch through that inner right thigh. Now, as you let the right hand draw the right knee down, have a little play with just pushing the right knee up into the hand, just to create, not that you're fighting with yourself, but just to create a little bit of opposing force going on there. Then bring the right knee back up to center. Rebend your left knee, left foot stays flat on the floor. Take your right ankle over to your left thigh and let the right knee just roll away from you. So we start to open out the outer thigh on the right hand side. If that's fine, stay there. Or if you want to juice it up, let the left foot come up off the floor, hold around the back of the left thigh, and you'll feel that as you draw that left thigh in towards you, you'll get more of a stretch through the right hip. What I'd like you to do as you do this is use your right elbow on the inside of your right knee to gently keep that knee rolling away from you a little bit. And again, you're not fighting with yourself. You're just encouraging the body to go the way you'd like it to. And of course, through all of this, you are breathing. Forgot to mention that, but you know what you're doing by now. We're on week 3. You're breathing. You're keeping the breath soft and balanced. Good, keep the legs in that shape, but let the left foot come down to the floor. Then let the right foot come down to the floor. So you turn onto your left hand side. Reach down with your left hand and hold the right foot if you can. Then turn your chest up to the ceiling and reach out through the right arm. You can bend the elbow if you don't have much room. So you're just taking it into a little twist. And you may feel a bit of a stretch through the outer right hip. Let that right foot really strongly stand on the floor if you can. And let the right knee just roll away from you as much as it comfortably can. Good. Bring everything back up to center. All that stuff on the other side. So knees in just for a moment. Feet on the floor. Let the knees fall apart. Make that diamond shape with the legs, soles of the feet together. Right leg stays where it is. Draw the left knee up. Right hand on the inside of your right thigh. And feel like you're trying to draw the left thigh down to the outside of your rib cage. Almost like you're trying to get your left knee to nestle in your left armpit. Probably won't go. If it does, well done you. I don't know why I'm saying well done. It's not like well done you. Anyway, stay here or take that left leg into half a happy baby. So again, you're just letting the weight of the left arm kind of just draw that thigh down. If that's too much for the left thigh, if you're all kind of scrunched up with an effort to grab onto that foot, don't worry about it. Just go back to holding the knee. Just knocking the rust off. Don't want to get crazy mad about achieving, because we all know we don't want to be attached to any outcome, because that's the quickest way to ensure that we fail. Good. Release that. Let the left knee come into the chest. Straighten the right leg out. Right hand on front of the right hip. Let the weight of the left hand just draw the left knee out and down towards the floor. As the left hand works on the left knee, again, have a play with just pushing the left knee up into the left hand. Just a touch. Just means you're turning on or activating the thing that you are trying to stretch. Nice. Left knee in. Right foot on the floor with the right knee bent. Left ankle goes over to right thigh or knee. Left hand on left knee, roll it away. Stay here or bring the right foot off the floor. Hold around the back of the thigh. Keep the left foot flexed. So you come into a kind of reclined half pigeon or reclined figure of four. Can we call it lots of things really. Use your left elbow to gently roll that left knee away from you if they are in contact. And remember, we are opening hips here. So any pain in knee or anywhere else, back off out of the pose. You do not want to be bullying knees. You want to be negotiating with hips. Right foot comes to the floor. Turn to your right side, let the left foot stand on the floor. Then turn your chest towards the ceiling. Reach the left arm out to the side if you can. And again, let this left foot really stand firm on the floor. Roll the left knee away from you if you can. And let your left side of your rib cage feel heavy as you just take it into a little twist. And it may get a little bit of a stretch through the outside of your left hip. Of course, your breath again is nice and even and balanced. Good. And then bring everything back up to center. Bring the knees up into your chest and hug them in. Good. Now, keep the feet together, but take the knees apart. So inner arches of the feet, inner edges of the feet together, knees apart. Now reach your hands up towards the ceiling as if you were pushing the ceiling away from you. Then lift your shoulder blades up off the floor and just curl in towards your knees a little. As you do, Let the knees come down to the backs of your arms. Now, imagine you're pushing the ceiling up and away from you, and at the same time, squeeze knees against arms, squeeze arms against knees. Keep the chest lifted for 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring the knees together. Suck your belly button into your chest. Now take the arms behind you and take the legs out. Let the chest lift a little. Let the legs lift a little. So you're kind of doing a reclined handstand. Then bring the knees back in. Push the ceiling away. Come back into your reclined crow pose. And then go back out to your reclined handstand. And then back once more to your reclined crow. And then bring the knees together. Bring the feet to the floor. Pause for a moment and wonder why that seemed like a good idea. Bring the knees up into your chest. Have a little roll backwards and forwards, up and down the spine. Woo, until you come up to sit. And don't do that if you're located next to a slightly wobbly piece of furniture. Mine just gave a really good wobble when I did that. Good. Come to sitting. Just sit cross-legged however you comfortably can for a moment. Let the chin just draw down to your chest and just let the right ear drop to the right shoulder. Roll the chin around, let the left ear drop to the left shoulder. Just do that a couple of times either way. Only because I find, again, making it all about me, when I'm doing core stuff, as we just threw in at the end there, I can really clench my jaw and take it into my neck if I'm not careful. Good. Come on to all fours. All fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And just for a moment or two, roll through your cat and cows. So with the inhale, send the chest forwards and up, sit bones up and back. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, arch up. Inhale, roll into your cat. No, your cow. Exhale, arch up into your cat. Good. Keep going with your own breath. Remember, now we are really getting into breath and body synchronized movement. So yes, of course, we've been breathing beautifully up until this point, but now is your opportunity to really start harnessing that power that you're going to use in your sun salutations. And that's not to say that it should be a big, strong, powerful breath. A yogic breath is a breath that is appropriate for whatever you're doing at the time. So it can still be a nice, gentle breath, but you're just beginning to let body and breath work together. Good. And then come to a place of stillness. Now, find your spine in neutral. So we've just been taking it from one extreme to the other by bowing it down and then arching it up. But find somewhere that feels neutral. And this is slightly challenging when you can't see what you're doing, I know, but you're going to try and keep that neutralness in your spine. So I want you to try and keep the back of your back exactly as it is. Slide your right foot back away from you. And then lift your right foot up just enough so that your hips stay square. It's not about hoiking it right up, it's just about kind of pushing it back more than lifting it up. Draw the belly button into your spine. Keep thinking of the chest going slightly forward and see if you can lift your left hand up off the floor. And see how the core has to work. Feel how the core has to work. Feel how you perhaps need to engage your fingertips on your right hand a little more. Good. And then bring everything down. Should we try the other side? All right then. So I like to slide the left foot back first, pushing over any plants that happen to be in the way. Slide the left foot back first. And then just lift it a little. I can't see what I'm doing. Lift it a little so that hopefully your hips stay square, even if mine aren't. And then switch on the stuff you need to switch on. Shift the weight a little bit into your right hand, and then see if you can, into your left hand, and then reach the right arm forward. Feel how you have to perhaps use the fingertips of the left hand a little more, and feel that there's an extension out as well as the slight lifting up. Find your breath, and then bring it all back down. Good. Once more on the other side. Take the right foot out, back and up. Take the left foot forwards. Now this time, if you've got room, take the right foot out to the right hand side. If you haven't got quite enough room, you can do it with a bent knee. So you can bend the knee, and then almost like you're kind of cocking your leg against the lamppost. Take the right leg up, and then take the left arm out to the left hand side as well. Ooh. And then bring everything back down. Just laughing at my inability to balance. Let's have one more go. Other side. Slide the left foot back first. Lift it up. Reach the right arm forwards. Then if you can, take it out to the side. You might need to bend the knee. This is more about just feeling how it feels to wobble. So don't worry about it. Good. Whew. Then bring everything back down. Come towards the back of your mat. And just take your child's pose for a moment. Plenty of room in front of you. Reach the hands out and feel broad. Feel broad across your upper back. Feel broad across your lower back. Allow the belly to be soft. We've just done a few little things to activate your core, to wake it up a little bit, which has hopefully perked it up. Should it have needed perking. But now just let it be soft. Let it be soft. Let it be all nice and squishy in your child's pose. Then come back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes, and let's find our first downward facing dog of the night. If you're not quite ready for your first down dog yet, that's totally fine. Stay in child's pose for a couple of breaths. If you're in downward facing dog, I'm just going to say, if anyone heard that noise, that was my foot on my yoga mat. All right? You probably didn't hear it, but I'm just saying, I know I doth protest too much now, don't I? But I promise that noise that sounded mysteriously like a bottom burp was my foot on my mat. Bend one knee, then bend the other knee. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Now it's like the one who, it's not the one who smelled at Delta, isn't it? The one who said the rhyme did the crime. Okay, I'm going to stop there. One more breath in your downward facing dog. Then one way or another, bring your feet in towards your hands, bring your hands in towards your feet. Feet about hip width apart. Just hang here for a moment or two. Really soften the knees. Hold the elbows, or let the arms hang. Have a little sway from side to side. Whatever feels good for you as we negotiate with the backs of the legs. And then soft knees, let the arms hang, and with a slow inhale, push down the feet to roll yourself back up, vertebrae by vertebrae, until you come to stand. Good. Position yourself at the front of your mat, whichever end you like to be. Your front. Mine keeps migrating across the carpet. It's very nice. So come to the front of your mat. Find that nice, even, balanced standing pose. So remember, feet are about hip width apart. Take a moment to lift up onto the balls of the feet and rock back onto the heels. And begin to find that connection down through your feet into the earth. When we start with some of our balance posing, it won't necessarily always be the feet that are our point of grounding. So remember, you always need to know which bit of you is grounding so that you can really put your emphasis there, put your attention there. Make your movements a little smaller until you find yourself standing still. Remember to keep that little bit of sponginess in your knees, but the legs are active, they are switched on. Little bit of a smile in your bum cheeks. Draw up through the belly button, lift the heart, drop the shoulders. Feel the top of your head lifting up towards the sky. Turn your palms towards the front of your mat, just to open across the front of the chest a little. Take an inhale and an exhale. A few half sunnies just to begin, but for now, just take another inhale and an exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, take your arms up. Reach high, grow tall. Now, put a little bit of bend in your knees. Take the hands behind you and interlace your fingers. Push the knuckles back and down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, soft knees, but take a forward fold. Let the head hang and let the arms just move away from your back. Then bend your right knee and gently straighten your left. And turn your right shoulder towards your right knee. The chest will turn as well. And then go the other way. Bend the left, straighten the right. Turn as if you were trying to get your left knee towards your left shoulder and open up through the right hand side of the chest. Back to center, forwards fold. Keep the knees soft, release the hands. Bend the knees so you're fairly deep in a squat, and then inhale, rise up, push through the feet. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good, do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees a little, take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, push the knuckles away. Inhale, lift the chest a little. Exhale, fold down. Good. Take a little twist to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale, little twist to the right. Exhale to center. Bend the knees, drop the arms. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, pull the arms down by your sides. Good. One more like that. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, little bend in the knees, hands behind you, interlace the fingers, push the knuckles back and down. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, little twist to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale, little twist to the right. Exhale to center. Release the hands, bend the knees. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good, into some sunny A's. So inhale, reach up just like normal. Exhale, soft knees, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Send your chest forwards and lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands down, step back. Come to your plank pose. Now bring your knees down. Make sure you've got some weight in your hands so that this is, a bit of an effort. Now you're going to do a kind of a little sort of plank half push-up. But I only want you to go down as much as you can and stay in control. So you're going to bend your elbows, but keep the elbows hugged in towards your sides and then push up. So it's not a push up as your arms come out. You're going from there with the elbows coming in and back and then pushing away. Now, obviously, if you can't get to this without collapsing, I don't want you to do that. If all you need to do for now is a little, totally fine. If you can come all the way down, keeping your elbows in line with your rib cage. I admire you, I want to be you. That's how far you go down, but it needs to be with control. So give it a go. If you haven't already, you probably have. Right, you haven't been sitting there waiting for me. So elbows hugged in. It's a very different shape than if you're used to doing normal push-ups in the gym. Elbows hug in, keep the tailbone tucked a little, come down, and then push up. And then come all the way down with control. Come to a little cobra, pull back with the hands. Inhale, peel the chest away from the floor. Exhale, roll down. Push back to your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Bend your knees, bring the feet in towards the hands or as close as they can come. Inhale, halfway up. Gonna have to find somewhere else to put this plant. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Push through your feet, rise up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Good. Do it again. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, soft knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands down, feet back, come to half a plank. Keeping that control, come all the way down this time. We'll do the push-ups in a moment. Bring yourself to Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders. Pull the elbows back. Tuck the pubic bone. Lift the chest forwards and up, a gentle back bend. Exhale, come down. Push back to your knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Or remember, child's pose is always there for you if you need it for 3, 2, 1. Come forwards to your high plank. Bring your knees down. Keep the elbows in. Now think of your chest going forwards, not just collapsing down. See if you can bend the elbows a little. Push back up. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Nice. Look at the space between your hands. Take the feet into it or as close as you can. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, push through feet, rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good. One more like that. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your back. Hands down, feet back. High plank, half a plank. Let's add our push-up in here this time. Elbows stay in, chest goes forwards. Come down, push up. Good. Now with control, come all the way down. Locust pose this time. So legs lift, arms lift, palms turn down. Lift the arms and legs, keep the chin tucked for 3, 2, 1. Come down, push back to your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Good. 3 breaths here. In your down dog, push hands forward and down. Push feet back and down. Try and find that feeling as if you were trying to rip the mat in half. The same point, your hips, highest point of your dog. Everything feels a bit flat. Play around with stepping your feet in just a touch. End of your next exhale. Bend your knees, look at the space between your hands, take your feet into it. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push through feet, rise up. Exhale, pull your arms down. Good. A few lunge sunnies now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands down, step your right foot back, let the right knee come down. Inhale, reach up. Pause here for a moment. Couple of breaths, reach up to the fingertips. Still kind of knocking the rust off, but find your grounding with the bits that are in contact with the floor. Ground those bits down so that everything else can reach up. Good. Then a kind of little strengthening action. Bring your arms down and turn your palms up as if you were holding like a big tray of your favourite snacks. I don't know. But then imagine, keeping the palms turned up, that you've got an elastic band around your wrists. And against imagined resistance, pull your hands apart. They're not going to go anywhere. So just imagine that you're either pushing out against something or pulling them apart. And you'll just feel how muscles on the backs of the arms, on the back of your back, switch on. So switch those muscles on. Imagine that you are pulling your palms apart. Good, and then bring the hands down. Step your left foot back, come to your high plank. Knees down. With control, bring yourself down through that push-up. Inhale, little cobra, lift the heart. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Pause for a moment. Inhale, come forwards as if you were going to do a plank, but you're not quite there. Then bring your take the right foot up off the floor and bring your right knee to kiss the back of your right bicep. And then inhale, take it up, downward facing dog, a three-legged one. Good, then come forwards again, almost to plank. Right knee as high up on the back of the arm as you can. Push back, three-legged down dog. Once more, bring it forwards. And then exhale, push back, three-legged dog. Now step the right foot forwards, bring the left knee down. Inhale, reach up. Again, pause here for a moment. All the stuff that's on the floor, ground it well. All the stuff that's lifting up, give it the strength to lift. Then again, let's do that platter pose. Bring the elbows down, palms turn up. And as if you've got a big elastic band, kind of around both wrists, tying them together, imagine that you are pulling the hands apart. Or you can imagine that someone's got a hand on each of yours and you're trying to push them away, either side of you. That doesn't make sense. You know, let's go with the trying to pull your hands apart option. Just activate some different stuff on the back and on your arms. It's all good stuff to strengthen, particularly when we want to do balancing. Good, let that come down. Inhale, take the arms up just for a breath. Exhale, hands down. Step the left foot forwards. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, push through feet, rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good. Left leg leads this time. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale again, reach up. Pause there for a moment. Slightly different strengthening. First of all, ground everything that's in contact with the floor. Turn your palms towards the front of your mat and make fists. Now imagine that you are pulling a big bar down from the ceiling, but it's on elastic and it's really strong elastic. So pull slow motion, pull down until your elbows are about shoulder height. But keep that feeling of pulling down. Activate the back muscles for 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot back, knees down. Come down with control again through that push-up shape. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. If the knee to the tricep or bicep stuff was too much, that's fine. Just stay in your downward facing dog. Otherwise, come forwards towards plank. Lift the left foot up off the floor. Then bring the chest forwards as the knee comes forwards to kiss the back of your left arm. And take it back and up to a 3-legged downward facing dog. Then inhale forwards. Exhale, knee to bicep. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, pause. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, knee to bicep. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, step the left foot forwards. Bring the right knee down. Inhale, reach up. So again, we're going to do our pull down. Ground the stuff that's on the floor. Turn the palms towards the front. Make fists. Imagine you're pulling down against that resistance. Come down until elbows are about shoulder height, but keep that feeling that you are pulling down on that really strong, elasticy thing. Keep grounding the feet, especially the front foot, ground base of big toe, base of little toe, middle of heel. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot forwards. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, soft knees, forward fold. Inhale, push through feet, rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down by your sides. Good. Position yourself somewhere, probably in the middle of your mat. So you've got space in front of you and behind you. Yeah, we'll probably have to move around a bit. I don't know what space you've got in terms of furniture. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Too much detail. Okay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Now, put some bend in your knees and hook your first 2 fingers around your right big toe. Bring your left hand onto your left hip. Shift the weight into your left foot. And as you do so, bring the right knee up and come up to stand. Now, if you've just gone, what? If you can't lift it up from forward fold, that's fine. We can build up to that. If you want to get into the pose, just come with hands on hips, reach down, hold big toe with first 2 fingers. If this is too much, hold around front of the right knee with the right hand. And of course, if you want to try with a bit of wall nearby, then that's totally fine. So stay holding the knee, or see if you can take the right foot out a little bit in front of you. Now, whatever you are doing, lift the chest up. Keep both knees a little bit soft and ground that standing foot strongly into the floor. Find your foundation. Ground down so that you can lift up. Good. Ooh, I'm going. Release the big toe if you're holding it. Go back to holding the right knee. Good. Now bring both hands into prayer. Send your chest forwards as you send the right foot back. Ooh. So you come to warrior 3 or thereabouts. Now ground that foot. Send the right foot back Ooh, send your chest, oh dear, send the chest forwards. Told you, you've got to laugh when you fall over. What a ridiculous thing to be doing with your Monday evening. Good. Now, can you come gently back up to stand? Lift the knee up. Finally, a little bit of bend in the left foot. Once again, send the right foot back. Send the chest forwards. Can you land into a high lunge? Ground the stuff that's on the floor. Hey, inhale, lift the other stuff. Good. And breathe. Nice. Bring your hands down. Step the left foot back. Bring your knees down. Bring the chest down between the hands. Inhale, lift little cobra. Exhale, roll down. Push back to your knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, lift the right foot off the floor. Just a little bit. Look at your hands. Now see if you can lift the left hand off the floor. Just a little bit. Find how you have to activate all the other stuff. Put left hand down, put right foot down. Good. Take a moment on your knees if you need to. Let's try the other side whilst we're here. Left foot, lift it a little. Look at your right hand. Be strong in the left. Lift the right. You only have to hover it. Just a little bit. Then let everything go back to the floor. Good. Bend your knees. Look at the space between your hands. Step both feet into it. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Right hand on your right hip. Hook first two fingers around your left big toe. Shift the weight into your right leg. As you do so, lift the left foot up with you. Again, if that's too much, one way or another, come to stand, either with left hand around left knee or holding left big toe. Then again, play with taking that left foot out in front of you a little bit. Ground the right foot, switch that leg on, and then make sure everything else is lifting up. You've got to have a balance between grounding and lifting for all this balancing stuff. Good. Release, bring the knee back in. Hands into prayer. Feel warrior 3. Again, keep the standing leg strong. Now send the chest forwards as you send the left leg back. Good. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring yourself back up to stand. Yes, I just used the wall. It was there. I couldn't resist. And then with control, can you step back? Again, send the chest forwards to a high lunge. Let it land. Ground the stuff that needs to ground. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot back. Bring your knees down. Bring everything down with control. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Pause and breathe. Nice. For 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Bring your knees down to the ground for a moment and come to all, no, not to all fours, that's a lie. Come to a squat. So you're going to, there's variations of this we can do, first of all, depending on how your body is and what's going on for you. So first of all, take the feet fairly wide. I have to have mine fairly wide because my hips are really tight. And then just bend your knees and come down and see what happens. So if I lift my heels, I find it much easier. So that's totally fine. You can either put something under your heels, you can roll up a yoga mat, you can find a cushion, prop the heels. Oh, that makes it much better. Bring the hands into a prayer and lift the chest up whilst you let the knees roll out. And you can let the elbows push into the knees, put the knees push into the elbows. And I'm really trying to lift my chest up. So there's no rounding of the back here for the moment. I'm going to lift up. So if this is enough for your hips, particularly, then you might want to stay here for a little bit of breathing, because we're going to take this sort of foundation into an arm balance. But you see, this is what I mean about failure, in inverted commas, because if your knees, if your hips are not open enough for you to be able to get your knees quite high up your arms in this kind of pose, you're going to find the arm balance really difficult. So then when you try and do the arm balance and you can't do it, it's far easier to see yourself as a failure as an arm balancer, and therefore as a yogi, and therefore as a decent person, blah, blah, blah. But all it means is your hips weren't quite open enough for the first bit. So you haven't failed at the arm balance, you just got to build yourself up to it. See what I mean? So all these incremental learning steps we have to just kind of check into before we reach the decision of, oh my God, I'm a failure. No, you're not a failure. You're not a failure at an arm balance. You just need to open your hips more, you know? So either stay in that squat and think happy thoughts and breathe there, or we're going to take it into a bit of an arm balance. And I'm going to talk you through this first. First of all, if you want to try, if you want to grab cushions, if you're watching this later and want to pause it, if you want to have a few goes at this, feel free. And I'm only half joking when I say you might want to have a cushion or something soft kind of in front of your face. It sounds awful, doesn't it? But that can take away some of the fear more than anything, because a lot of stuff with doing this arm balance is about fear rather than balancing. Second thing is, there is no jumping into this pose. It's balance. It's literally some bits have to go forward, some bits have to go back, like you just did in that warrior 3. You had to lift the chest, some bits had to go forward, some bits had to go back, and that was where the balance was. Yeah, you didn't leap into that warrior 3. Same with this pose we're going to do here. And remember, if you can't do it, it's really not the end of the world. So bring the insides of your feet together and take the knees apart. I should also say the good news is you've actually already done this pose twice and you did it. It just so happened that the first time you did it lying down and the second time you did it sitting down. So, you know, did we do it sitting down? I think we did. Anyway, you've definitely already done it. It's just that now we're doing it upright. So insoles of my feet are together, knees are apart. I'm going to bring my hands down in front of me, quite close to me, and my fingers are spread wide like they're downward dog hands. So then I'm going to take my bum up. So my bum has to come up. Then I bring the backs of my, the knees onto the backs of my arms with my bum up in the air. And then all that work we did in the push-up shape, you know, we talk about making your arms that kind of shape. You're going to do the same so that you use the back of the arm almost like a shelf for your knee to rest on. So you snuggle in as if you are putting your knees on like a backpack. Lift the bum up, then you squeeze your knees against the backs of the arms. And now I have to take my chest forwards. So I have to bring weight into my hands and switch my fingers on. Then I might lift one foot, and then the other, and mine's not a pretty sight, but I can manage it for a breath or two. So have a little play. Like I say, if you're watching this later, or if you want to come back to this, you know, feel free to do so. Key points again are, you're snuggling in. The higher up you can get your knees to the backs of your arms, the better. And I mean that in inverted commas. I mean you'll find the pose perhaps more easy to do. Elbows stay hugged in. Take the bum high first. Then you have to take the chest forwards so that the legs then have a little shelf to rest on. Use your fingers. That's why you need the cushions. Use your fingers to ground you, just like you did in Warrior 3. Keep thinking chest forwards, knees on the backs of the arms. Like I say, if you can't do it, there are 1,000,001 other reasons why it hasn't quite worked out for you this time. It does not mean that you are a failure at arm balancing or anything like that. It just means you need to have a go at some of the kind of the stepping stones to get you there. But good, if you've had a go, I'm very proud of you. If you didn't have a go, but you've recognised that maybe that's something you do, as in, I don't want to have a go in case I get it wrong. If you've recognised that as a pattern, I'm also equally proud of you, because knowledge is power, isn't it? Good. Should we have a little lie down after all that? Yeah, I think so. So get yourself to a comfortable lying down position. That pose that we just did at the end, by the way, is called crow pose. I don't know why. But should you wonder what it is that you've just been having a go at, it's crow pose. Like I say, we'll continue building on this practice next week, because it's really not something that you can literally only spend one practice on. You'll be pleased or horrified to know. But we'll fling in a few different bits next week as well. Anyway, get yourself into a comfortable lying down position. And remember, now is your opportunity to do anything you need to get yourself into that comfortable position. So if you feel like you need to twist, if you feel like you need to stretch, if you feel like you need to do a little bit of, well, I don't know, whatever. Tune in, do it, and get yourself where you can settle. If you feel like you're there, you can let your arms just rest down by your sides with your palms turned up towards the sky. Let your feet fall apart. And when you're ready, let your eyes close. Then as many times as feels good, take a big breath in through the nose and sigh. Do that at least 3 times. Do it more. It feels nice. And with each exhale, let something go. Even if you don't know exactly what you are letting go, it doesn't matter. Just imagine how it would feel to let something go. Something that doesn't serve you, something that you don't need, something that's holding you back. Now's the time, let it go. On your next exhale, allow your arms and your legs to grow heavy. On your next exhale, allow your hips and your pelvis to sink a little deeper into the mat. On your next exhale, allow your eyeballs to rest a little heavier in the eye sockets. Release any furrows from your brow. Allow the space between your ears to grow quiet and still. On your next exhale, allow your whole body to sink a little deeper into the mat. But at the same time, feel the earth rising up beneath you, supporting you fully so you can completely let go. Allow yourself to rest here for just a moment or two in silence. Stay exactly as you are. Once again, just notice how you feel. Notice what you are feeling, and if there is good stuff there, allow it to be fully felt. Allow yourself to marinate in it. Start to bring some movement into the body by taking a few deeper breaths and letting them go. And still with your eyes closed, begin to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes. Rotate wrists, rotate ankles. Begin to make your way comfortably to your right hand side. Pause on your side for a moment, and then when you're ready, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You can have your hands in a prayer shape, or they can just be resting in your lap, whatever feels good for you. Take a moment, remember the intention you set back at the beginning of our time together. Remember how you wanted to feel and breathe life back into that intention with a big inhale, and let it go with the exhale. Allow the corners of your mouth to lift into a smile. Keep that on your face for as long as you can. And namaste.